I see.
Mhm.
My preparation actually started in October.
Mhm.
Um, so I, like every other thing, I wanted to ram into it, just get it done with. I gave my first test, I think, on 24th November. From 1st of October to 24th of November, it was basically grilling myself, going through every single question that I could find
Okay.
without any concept, without any concepts. And
Mhm.
it was like practice and practice and practice and practice all over. I made it a point to at least practice 3 hours every single day.
Okay.
And I think my first test was on 24th of November, and it went in a haze.
Mhm.
And I was expecting a lot lower because the sampler test that I had um, taken, I never got a score above 710.
Mhm.
um, but it was 730. And I considered myself lucky, and I considered that this was a fluke. um, so I started after 7:30. I started researching for MBA schools and the schools that I wanted to go to and the class profiles that I was looking at. 7:30 was a moderate score for at least the Indian IT graduate
Mhm.
peer group that I was competing with. 7:30 was a moderate score, so I wanted to boost the score. So I considered a couple of options. Veritas Prep was one of those, as I told you.
Mhm.
There was another one. Actually, got I went through almost all of those samplers that were provided in the MBA. I think e-GMAT. Oh, sorry, GMAT.
Club.
GMAT Club. Yeah, I went through all those samplers, and I went through a couple of videos of e-GMAT as well. Free videos on YouTube. Some people I actually copied.
Mhm.
I particularly love the number. Um, as might be reflected by my score. My problem was with the mathematics section. So I particularly love the number of properties webinar that somebody had posted on YouTube. So I
Mhm.
decided I would, try to go for the quantitative,
Mhm.
right? So I first purchased the quantitative, and during my preparation, I loved it so much that I thought I would move ahead and purchase the verbal as well.
Mhm.
Um, so I purchased that, went through almost every section of the quantitative,
Mhm.
went through half of, I think, the sections. I went through the section, sentence completion section of the verbal.
Mhm.
Um, some pointers on critical reasoning, the CR section,
Mhm.
um, and I started to attempt. After that, after the tutorials, I started to attempt the mock tests that were provided. I also purchased the actual GMAT,
GMAT prep.
the,
Okay. Okay.
the MBA.com,
Mhm.
the MBA.com tests.
Mhm.
Uh, I think I had given maybe 7 to 8 tests, and the score was in the range of in all those mock tests. The score was in the range of seven uh, 710 to 770 or
Okay.
780 sometimes.
Okay.
Um, yeah, so um, I thought I had it in my hand. I went for the test. I secured a 720,
Mhm.
which I thought it was not a true reflection of my score.
Okay.
Um, and I thought, all right, I'll practice once more and give.
So when you got a 720, what was the split?
Um, so I canceled the score. The 720. The first time I actually got 720s 2 times. The
Mhm.
first time the split was 43 in verbal,
Okay.
and I think it was 47 in quant, or
Okay.
40, yeah, 47 or 46 in quant, something like that.
Okay.
Yeah, and in the second round, it was 51 mathematics,
Okay.
uh, 51 quant, and it was 38 verbal.
Ah, so you were that is
Yeah,
unfortunate.
Yeah. So I firmly believe that what was reflected in those scores the two times was not um, the true reflection of my caliber or the true reflection of the score that I could have gotten. I went, obviously I had doubts. I went through it, and the last time, I was pretty chill. I went through the tutorial sections once again
Okay.
for e-GMAT, and the last section during the last time, what changed was um, I started to resonate.
Hmm.
Actually, the way I was solving question, I started to resonate with the speeds that Payal had um,
Hmm.
implemented in her tutorials, like very slow understanding of the question, and uh, you know, I was trying to resonate it with during the earlier preparation sessions as well, but this time I put my heart into it. Um, that's what happened. I did not care about during my actual test. I did not care about whether my last question was wrong or right. I went through it, and then I completely focused on the next question that was in front of me,
Hmm.
and you know,
I really
some
like what you said. I put my heart into it.
yeah, yeah. So I wanted my scores to reflect the to to potential, my true potential, and
Hmm.
that's why it was for me. It was because I have a full-time job. I went from my job from 8 o'clock in the morning to like 6 in the evening, and then I prepared till 12 o'clock in the night, and then
Hmm.
it was the same grueling situation all over again. But it was um, the consistency and uh, planning,
Hmm.
but most often, or most predominantly, it was um, capturing the essence of tutorials as was put forth by GMAT. Like I had, when I reflected on the past attempts, I knew that my abilities, the where I lagged was,
Hmm.
I would quickly switch into panic mode.
Hmm.
Um, you know, try to attempt as fast as possible,
Hmm.
not give any the questions that were in front of me the proper due of time that they deserved,
Hmm.
and try to willow away as fast as possible,
Hmm.
which was something that I should not have done. If I had practiced on those lines that I practiced during the last attempt, I
Hmm.
would have succeeded um, during those attempts.
That's very interesting.
Yeah,
That is. I mean, it's that realization by itself. I mean, it's very mature of you, is what I would say. So,
it is. It is the incorporation of. I suppose it is. It is this incorporation of self-reflection that helped me along the way and did not let me deter. People were saying there were a couple of people I discussed my approach or my applications or even my interest in MBA schools, and they were like, a couple of people actually told me not to pursue MBA at all, and then there were others who were like, 730 is a good score. You don't need to go, any higher. You don't need to aim any higher. You can get a Cornell, or maybe you can get Georgetown. That's okay. The college does not matter. But I wanted to give it my best. The attempts, I wanted to give my best to my attempts, and now since the applications have started, I want to give my best to the applications, and self-reflection of. I believe that um, I have it in me to ascertain my strengths and, more importantly, my weaknesses. This has helped me, and hopefully it'll help me in the future.
oh, it will. It will. I think so. So when people say that 730 is a good score, they're not wrong. First of all,
Hmm.
but yes, it depends on which schools you're aiming for.
Yes.
If you want to go to Stern or or if you want to go to schools in Boston, or if you want to go
Mhm.
to Columbia, this would definitely help you.
Yes. Yes,
So,
that's something that I'm aiming. Sloan is something I'm aiming. Columbia definitely on the E list.
okay, perfect.
Uh, yeah.
Perfect. And I think one of the other things which is you probably you might have gotten an admit with a 730. You probably would not have secured a scholarship or a fellowship. And 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 the year 2019 is somewhat special for many reasons. But if I were to really say the top three reasons why it's special is because of I think the year 2019 there's this increasing amount, the amount of money that is put aside for scholarships is probably the highest we've seen in decades.
Okay.
Um, the competition is probably the lowest that we've seen in decades, and for the very simple reason, Trump's H1 policies, A, and B, the
Mhm.
trade war with China means that there are fewer students coming from China.
Mhm.
So
Interesting. Yeah.
so the competition is a lot low, while there's a lot, the scholarship and fellowship kitties are the fattest that they've been. So
Yeah.
so that 760 I'm sure would help you.
Yeah. That's what I hope. Still,
Yeah.
I realize there's a battle, very uphill battle. But for
I
all
think for you, with your background, you have an IIT Patna background. It's an IIT Patna, if I
Mhm.
remember correctly, right?
Yeah, it is an IIT Patna.
Mhm.
So kind of an interesting journey over there.
Mhm.
It was mine was the first batch. We defined the culture, the festivals that we created over there. They're still, being held. The student culture. I can proudly say that I was one of the formative members of the student culture over there.
Okay, and that's where you're not a typical IITian in that regards.
Yeah,
And I think that makes it even more interesting. So,
interesting. I mean, I thought my background since so I've been talking to people. They tell me that since I was from IIT Patna and not from IIT Chennai or from some other IIT, it would be not as impactful, or maybe it will be detrimental to my application.
it
Um,
won't definitely not be detrimental. Yes, it may not be as impactful as that from Chennai or Kharagpur or Kanpur, for that matter. But essentially, it's not just the brand; it's also what you've done. And being from an IIT, and then prior to that, your school performance and your performance over here, uh, all of it, and it just depends on where how people perceive you. So all of it for me, when I look at it, it really shows a pattern of consistently good performance,
okay,
and essentially that is something which every school wants a certain proportion of that class to be under that category. So I mean, for example, we had a student last year. She was, if I remember, IIT Delhi. Yeah, IIT Delhi grad, about 5 years of experience, so more experience than you had. But her experience was primarily in India and in the oil and gas sector.
I
Um,
see.
and she got through Harvard, Stanford, Wharton, Kellogg, and INSEAD.
Wow,
She had a
wow,
770. She's currently studying at Harvard.
amazing, amazing.
So, so again, I again, she didn't have the extracurriculars that you have, but for her, it was like good, consistent performance throughout her life.
I see.
So when you think about um, a good proportion of folks who go to Harvard and Stanford, they are
Hmm.
they fall into this category.
I see.
So, and then that's kind of one way to really look this up, is to look at the profiles of students on LinkedIn.
Okay. Yeah,
So,
I've been trying to approach people from colleges
hmm,
through LinkedIn.
hmm.
Yeah.
So I think in that regards, just given looking at your resume, I think you come out as someone who would be a good fit into that group where you say, hey, this guy's been excelling throughout his life, and has been whatever he has taken, he's been good at that, and he's a good GMAT score, so it's a good addition to that bucket.
I see. I see. What I am hearing is, do you think it is possible for me to crack those Wharton's boots? Like, am
Wharton
I?
Booth, yes.
Okay.
Wharton Booth, yes.
Okay. When general management, I was not even considering how it sounded, but I was not even considering Wharton or Booth.
No, Wharton and Booth, yes.
Okay. All right. So one thing that I did not mention on my resume was, and I was planning to put in on my essays, and I was debating whether I would put in on my resumes and essays, is um, my involvement with certain organization, or we have a non-profit organization back in Punjab that deals with helping people get out of drug addiction,
Mm-hmm.
and which is it is an informal thing. I collect money from people over here who were from that part of the world, or who were adjacent to my town from Gurdaspur.
Mm-hmm.
I was also a director of a startup which is running right now.
Mm-hmm.
So, do you think those things help in the situation, or should I even mention those?
I think you should. I think that's a question more around. I have to look at how you're positioning your application. It just
Mm-hmm.
depends on that. And I mean, for example, in your professional side, I have just 3 bullet points which talk about what you've done over here, which I think is you're underrepresenting yourself for 2 years of work So if I were to look at your application and
Mm-hmm.
really say what's an area of concern, one of the first things that would come is, okay, 2.5 years of work experience, what does he have to show for it? Now, 2.5 years is not low. It's lower than what other applicants would have, but it's not low. But if you don't mention a whole lot about what you've achieved during these 2.5 years.
Mm. Actually, I have 5+ years of experience. So I think it is 6+ years of experience. My
Oh,
two and a half
you also have Infosys. Okay, yeah, sorry.
Infosys, and then there was a startup in India, Apache Design Solutions, and
Yeah.
then now I work for Merrill Lynch.
Yeah, but then I don't see enough of your achievements. So when I look at and I really say, hey, who has said, what has he
I
achieved?
see.
I don't get that from the resume.
Oh, okay. So when I built this resume, it was not for uh, going or pursuing um, maybe MBA schools or maybe any other schools. It was more for, all right, I have these technical skills. That's the last time I edited this resume was on the recommendation of a recruiter.
Mm-hmm.
He put me in touch with these organizations. I got a score. I think it was 1.5 year ago or 1 year ago. He put me in touch with a couple of organizations. I secured interviews. I secured job offers from those organizations. I think it was 2 job offers that I secured, and then I started. I thought I would rather go preparation. Then the idea of MBA schools was brewing into my head, and then
And
canceled
this
those things.
is this is for me. This is basically um, a machine readable resume, a resume designed
Yes.
to be highlighted through keywords.
Yes,
But
that
frankly, it's a very badly designed resume for someone, for a human to read.
yeah, I
So
understand completely.
yes, so I think they did their job, but if I
Mhm.
were to write this resume, I would not write it this way. So, how are you planning to work, or have you selected a consultant to work with?
Yeah, there's a consultant that I'm, you know, thinking about considering. He's from India. It's the organization is called MBA Crystal Ball.
Okay, Samir.
Yeah, Samir.
Okay, that's good.
So yeah,
Would he be working with you himself, or?
There's a person that he's helping, getting me in touch with. His name is Ankur.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
he's a Stanford graduate.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Okay. That sounds good. So yeah. I mean, I would say definitely work with an admission consultant.
mhm,
I know Samir. I don't know Ankur. But if Samir vouches for him, he probably would be good.
I see.
I would say definitely talk to Ankur. Talk to a couple of other people as well,
Mhm,
and just make. Uh, I would say work with people who do this on a full-time basis.
I
As
see.
long as if Ankur is a Stanford grad, he does this on a full-time basis. Absolutely go for him.
I see.
Yes. Otherwise, I would recommend. I mean, there are many consultants who you can work with, but essentially, I would recommend working with someone who does this for his living.
Sure. Sure. And could you? I mean, so I want to refrain from people over here because mm, the some of the people, Indians that I have talked to over here who
Hmm.
wanted to pursue a degree, they told me to refrain from consultants that are in the United States. They have in their mind the idea of who's good fit based on the USA candidature, not based on Indian candidature. So could you recommend to me somebody, or
So,
if you had to recommend to me somebody?
so there are a couple of the few good people over here. So you have someone called Nupur.
Mhm.
She is a Wharton grad. She is from Delhi itself. In fact, I had lunch with her yesterday. Since I'm traveling to Delhi, since I'm
Interesting.
in India right now. So she's someone who works with very few people. Uh, so her yeah. So Nupur Gupta. Just you can Google that.
Hmm.
Then there's Poonam at Mayase Review. She is she's a certified consultant, an AJAC certified consultant.
Hmm.
Um, a couple of others that I could refer you to as well. There's I Reach IV is a company out of Bombay. They have a few folks from Ivy League who do this full time.
So could you repeat the name again?
Reach IV is the name of the company.
Oh, okay.
Hmm. Just one
All
second.
right.
Sharang, what's Nupur's company's name? Yeah, Nupur's company's name is Crack the MBA.
I see.
Yes. So yeah, get in touch with them, and also I would say get in touch with Ankur, and have a
I see.
call with them, and really see where your comfort level is. I think that's what I would say.
Okay. Okay.
So
So
yeah, you'd be able to make that judgment call yourself. Ask their process, talk about the number of reviews, when the reviews would happen, and so on and so forth.
I see. All right. All
So
right. So you really think that I can aim for Warden and Booth and down below?
uh, I can tell you one thing. Let me actually, since you are here, let me see if I can get those profiles. Just give me 1 second. I'm going to search something. Oh, I just got that. I'm going to share something with you, but I'm going to stop recording.